What's your names, by the way?
I'm Carlin.
I'm Gerry.
Gerry and Carlin?
Yes.
How do you spell that?
Carlin.
Okay, like my favourite comedian was George Carlin, so there you go. I don't know if you've heard of him, you should check him out. So, questions. You both going to do it?
Yeah.
Do you love animals, and why is the first question?
I love animals because I guess they're nice and stuff.
Yeah. What about you?
Because they have lives too.
They have.
They're basically like us. They basically have brains.
I agree with you. Speak up a wee bit so that I can pick this up. Second question is, what do you think of people who abuse animals or animal abuse in general?
Terrible. They should all go to prison.
And you?
They're no different to Osama bin Laden.
Okay. So animal abuse is evil, and harming an animal unnecessarily, you would say, is evil then, basically. Yeah. Okay. Third question is an easy question. It's trickier to answer, but it doesn't come with judgment, so don't feel bad when I ask you it. Do you support any industries that abuse animals in any way? And by those I mean, let me tell you what I mean. Meat, dairy, eggs, fishing, circuses, zoos, animal testing. And just be honest, because I supported it and paid for it a long time myself. What do you think of that?
I stopped eating meat like 5 years ago. So,
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes. What about you?
I still eat meat. So
Okay, that's fair enough. I ate it when I was your age too, so that's why I'm here today, because I'm vegan and an animal rights activist.
Yeah.
And I've seen what happens in all the industries, which you probably haven't. You're taught when you're young it's normal, needed, necessary to eat animal products. That we have to kill animals to survive, and none of that's true. I haven't eaten an animal product since I was 19. I'm 55 now. I'm thriving on a vegan diet. So, if it's not needed and necessary to eat animals or animal products or to wear their skin, what would be the justification for doing it?
Well, I don't think there is. So
Yeah, so that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And I realised that too a few years back, that there's no justification for it, because when you're young, you'll be exactly the same as me. You're taught to love dogs and cats and horses. And if somebody shoots Harambe, if you remember that, you're supposed to get upset. And fox hunting, bad or good?
bad.
And bullfighting, bad or good?
Bad.
So those are the things you're taught that are bad. But the animals that we typically eat and wear, you're taught that we have to eat them, and we have to wear their skin, and you're taught not to think about it at all, and you go through the rest of your life and you don't think a thing about it until someday somebody shows you some information and tells you that you don't need to eat these products to survive. So you can, like I said, be healthy and thrive on a plant-based vegan diet. Well then, that is in alignment with loving animals. And what did you say earlier, that they're just like us and they have their own lives and stuff? Well, that's exactly it for me. And to take somebody's life away from them for an unnecessary reason is bad. Even though you're taught that it's okay, I feel in my heart that it's wrong to make somebody suffer. What do you think of that?
Well, you do have really good points. You do.
Okay,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And I agree.
Okay, what do you think of that? Can I ask you, what made you stop eating? Is it just meat you don't eat, or what about dairy and eggs or fish? And again, no judgment.
I eat eggs and stuff.
Okay.
But I think 5 years ago I went over to Cuba and I saw they were roasting a pig. They were roasting a pig over a fire, and I think that just made me stop.
Yeah. I think when you see the complete animal,
Yeah.
it makes you realise, because when you go into a supermarket here or go into McDonald's, all you see is a product, a little circle or a little square. But when you see an animal, I've went a stage further than you. I've been to slaughterhouses, and I've been to farms, and I've been to markets. Some of the things that happen to animals here in this country, never mind other countries, are absolutely horrendous. Like pigs, for example, is one. Do you know how we kill pigs in this country? Do you?
Butcher knives?
No. Would you be surprised to know that we throw them in the gas chambers?
Oh.
What do you think of that?
We're basically treating them like they were the Jewish people in the 1930s and 1940s.
Yeah. It's not the Holocaust, but I think it's a Holocaust. So Ballymena, where I live, 2 miles from my house is Cranswick Country Foods. They gas 3,000 pigs a day. And Carrow and Cookstown is the other gassing facility here, and they're gassing them at 3,500 to 4,000 a day. Man, you should hear them suffering, the screaming of them. I've stood outside and listened to it, man. It is absolutely horrendous. So people can eat a bacon sandwich when you can just eat a vegan version instead. Not worth it. You know, and if I could bring every person in this street to there and let them listen to how those animals suffer. It's just terrible. And if it was dogs, people would be up in arms about it. So that's why I'm here. I'm just asking people to think and to look into the meat industry and look into the dairy industry that is cruel as well. The dairy is really super cruel too. People don't know, and I'm sure you maybe don't know all the stuff that goes on, and I wouldn't judge you for that, you know.
Not that I don't know that much about it.
Well, I'll tell you a couple of things about it, which will be bad enough. So the dairy industry is milk comes from mammals, right? So it comes from females. So every dairy cow in this country is a female. Where are all the boys?
Don't know.
Nobody ever asked that. Most of them are killed at birth. So in the UK last year, 120 to 150,000 baby boy dairy calves, because when they're born they're 50-50, boys and girls. 120 to 150,000 were killed on the day they're born. Farmers put them in the ground, shoot them in the head, or some of them just hit them over the head with a shovel or a spade, just to dispose of them because they don't produce milk. Some are sold for veal, some are grown for a little bit, a few weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and then they go to market and get sold for cheap meat products because it's not good meat from a dairy cow. So that's horrendously cruel. I can see in your face you're shocked by that. And the girls are exploited, so they're artificially inseminated because they only produce milk when they're pregnant, like your mum did when you were a baby. Milk's for baby cows, not for human beings. So they artificially impregnate them. As soon as the kids are born after 9 months, they take them away, which is really distressing and upsetting for the mums. They cry for weeks on end for their babies because maternal instinct's not just for human beings. And they take the child away, never see them again. If it's a boy, it's killed. If it's a girl, she'll go into the industry and go through about 4 or 5 cycles of pregnancy and being milked every day. And at 5 to 6 years old, guess where she goes?
Slaughterhouse.
Yeah. So the dairy industry basically is the meat industry. It's just as bad, if not more so, because the females are being exploited for their entire lives. Egg industry works the same. Only girls lay eggs. Baby boy chicks and girl chicks, when they're born, thousands of them come down a conveyor belt, sort it into boys and girls, and the boys are dropped straight into a macerating machine, which is a blender, and they're just ground up alive, just disposed of because they don't lay eggs. So all these industries they all suck. They're all horrible, horribly cruel. Those wee yellow chicks that everybody loves, just blend it up alive on the day they're born. It's terrible. So dairy's cruel, meat's cruel, fishing's cruel. They're all cruel, and animals suffer terribly in them all. So I guess that's about all I have to say. So tell me what you think of all that, and I'll give you a card. What do you think?
It's terrible what they do to animals just for food.
I agree.
Like, they could just get vegetables and stuff like a lot easier.
Yeah. And you can go into McDonald's and buy them with plant burger. It's the same price. You can go to KFC over there and buy vegan chicken nuggets, and apparently they taste better than the normal ones. So
See, my dad, right? He eats meat and vegetarian food, and he got the plant-based Whopper from Burger King, and he said it actually tastes better than the Whopper.
yeah. Plant-based ice cream tastes great. Plant-based cheeses now taste great. Plant-based burgers taste great. So if it all, even if it's 5% different, even if it's 5% not as good, well, what's more valuable to you? A 5% taste difference or an animal's life and suffering for the? Of course. What do you think of all that?
Well, you do. I think it's horrible what they do.
Worth looking into. I'll give you a card each before you go. I do YouTube and stuff. I do school talks. I do all sorts of stuff. But look into these cards. There you go, one each.
Thank you.
So if I could ask you to watch one thing on the top, you see this speech there, the best speech you'll ever hear?
Yeah.
It's free to watch on YouTube. It's a guy just giving a talk in universities in America. Sounds as boring as hell, I thought it would be. Nobody scrubbed through stuff. Inside a couple of minutes I was like, yeah, this guy's good. It's really worth watching. Just YouTube, free to watch, 40 minutes long. Give it a go and see what you think. Alright lads.